everyone, and welcome to an episode of the BG Show. I'm here to do a Thunderbolts spoiler review. Go check out my non-spoiler review if you've not seen the movie yet. I definitely recommend seeing it. So this is your official spoiler warning in 3, 2, 1. So let's just kind of go scene by scene. This movie takes place, or I guess starts, with Florence Pugh jumping off what I think in real life is the second largest, tallest building in the world. And I believe she did this stunt in real life. I don't know to what extent, but I do believe she jumped off this building. And it's pretty much her doing a mission for Val, who is played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who we've seen in some other projects. And essentially she's trying to destroy some evidence, and we soon realize, I guess it depends if how much you know, but this is evidence having to do with the Century Project, and the scientist is trying to warn her, but she doesn't really, listen. Eventually, there's a scene with the Red Guardian and her, and she wants to retire. She doesn't want to do it anymore, but she does one last mission, and she's sent by Val to like this, I guess, bunker or safe house out. I think what's like out west, maybe like in Nevada or Utah or somewhere. And this is like my first, the first scene in the movie where I really liked, where they kind of show her scoping out, Black Widow scoping out the building, and you see Ghost kind of walk in, and you're like, okay, we're about to get some comic book characters fighting. And so she's in there, Ghost is in there, and then John Walker comes in, and then Taskmaster comes in, and there's like this really good, almost like fatal four-way match between these four characters who we've seen in 4 different projects. Well, I guess Taskmaster and Florence Pugh were both in Black Widow, but to get the villain from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then to get John Walker, who was in a Marvel show, and then to get the other two, Taskmaster and Black Widow, I thought was really cool. This is the kind of stuff that I want to see. I don't like using the word grounded, but I think the word earthbound is better. We spent way too much time just off Earth and in just different realms. The 3 movies I talk about always are Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange 2, and not Guardians 3. Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians and Doctor Strange 2. And then even to an extent Black Panther 2, even though it was on Earth, it wasn't really like real life scenarios. So we haven't really gotten like these real life fighting scenes in a really long time. It was great to see. And so as this goes on, we come to learn that each of these characters was given a task to kill the other character. And obviously this was a setup. They were all meant to kill each other and destroy the evidence. Val is now the head of the CIA, and she's almost on the verge of being impeached for all of this illegal research, and she's trying to destroy all the evidence. As part of like this congressional committee is the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, who is a congressman who we learned that in the last movie, Captain America 4, and it was good to see some through lines between Captain America 4 and this movie. They mentioned the president turning into the Red Hulk, so I mean, it sounds dumb to like appreciate this stuff because that's the whole point of the MCU, but they've really gone away from this stuff. A lot of the projects since Endgame to now have not felt connected at all. They felt like either we got a really, really good project like Guardians 3, No Way Home, which were like their own things, or we got an underwhelming MCU show, or we got these movies, like I said, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, all I thought were underwhelming. So it was good to see. They eventually, team up and try and get out of this safe because they realize that that's really their only option. I guess one big spoiler is Taskmaster dies, which if you've been following the marketing, this was so obvious. This would have hit way harder if we didn't know this was coming. If you've been following, she was not announced, that actress, for Doomsday, and a lot of the marketing materials, she's not on the press tour, she's not doing a lot of the other marketing, so it was pretty obvious she was going to die pretty early on, and I'm just kind of not glad, but I wish I was glad to see the Taskmaster back. I think they're hopefully going to maybe reboot the character. I hate what they did with her mask. Her mask was like so much worse than even the Black Widow movie, and she didn't really get to do really any of her imitation tricks on the other characters. So she got shot right in the head by Ghost, so that was kind of cool. A large chunk of this movie takes place in this safe house kind of opening sequence. I mean, you're there. There's a whole sequence of them trying to break out, and they're going up the elevator shaft, and eventually they get out. But there's a lot of talking between Yelena and the Sentry, or Bob, who eventually becomes the King of Sentry. I thought Louis Pullman was great in this movie. I didn't even know he was the son of Bill Pullman, the president in Independence Day and a million other projects. And I thought, it's not a character that I've read a lot of comic books on, but he's extremely powerful. And I thought his suit looked cool. His powers looked really cool. I really liked what they did with the Void. The shadows of the Void. They got inspiration from the, I guess the ghost. I don't know what they're called, but the images after World War II and the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. And they took inspiration from that. I thought it was a really good storyline. It really pulled the movie together. It was supposed to be not a metaphor, but he's pretty much a drug addict and depressed. And I think the Void, he really has three personas: Bob, Sentry, and the Void. And so I think if it's supposed to be like a manic person, the Void is like him having a manic episode. Bob is kind of like leveled off, and then Sentry is like almost when he's feeling good about himself, but almost like a little bit too much. And I thought it was really good. I definitely want to see this character back. I don't know how they're going to handle him in Doomsday. Maybe because I don't think they want to kill him off so quickly. But at the same time, if you have him there, you constantly have to worry about how you're going to handle his power, similar to Captain Marvel. We got scenes back at the Avengers Tower, which seems to be, they're calling it the Watchtower. And there's a big fight scene here where they take on Sentry for the first time, and he just absolutely kicks the shit out of all of them, breaking, pretty much cracking John Walker's shield in half almost. He's throwing people around. He's got telekinesis. He can fly. He's bulletproof. So none of these people can take him on. In the entire MCU, I think the only people who can probably even try and fight him are like Thor, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and maybe Captain Marvel. I mean, I think those are the only four, and I think he might be powerful than all four of them. So a really good character. I think some people might complain that there might be like a lack of, the movie ends in the Void, and they're kind of like in his childhood, and they're trying to break him out. And I think some people might have some complaints about there not being like a huge climax in the movie. But again, I think the problem with every MCU movie is not every MCU movie can be like such a huge scale. This was a little bit of a smaller scale, but still pretty good in nature. David Harbour's Red Guardian I thought was really funny. I thought he was really the star of this movie. I'm excited to see him going forward. I think this is a great character for him. It's really funny. I think this stuff, I love the lines where he's talking about like what kind of super soldier serum Bucky has, because honestly, this is something that I feel like they don't talk about enough, how each of the super soldiers have different serums. And I think that stuff is pretty funny. Like I mentioned in my non-spoiler review, I think Julia Louis-Dreyfus was good, but I think they should have given her a little bit smarter dialogue. I think her dialogue was a little bit too, just a little bit too immature, just trying to constantly explain exposition dump and explain what I like to call MCU talk, like explaining MCU events, but actually in the movie. And I know they have to explain things to some casual audiences, but I think they dumbed it down way too much. Now let's talk about the post-credit scene. The post-credit scene was a huge spoiler. Very interesting, a little bit different than what I expected. I heard it was 2 minutes and 54 seconds long, the longest post-credit scene in the MCU. I kind of was expecting, I was kind of hoping it to be a little bit different. It was like 90% just comedy, and then the last 10%, big reveal, big spoiler. We get an alert of a spaceship coming into orbit, and I knew it was going to be Fantastic Four, because I'm like, who else could this be? And it shows like a metallic ship, and the ship kind of turns, and you see the Fantastic Four logo on it. I was kind of hoping, like, when I heard this was 2 minutes and 54 seconds long, maybe this would be, Florence Pugh going out and recruiting other people. Maybe we see Shang-Chi, we see Anthony Mackie, and like we get more of an ensemble kind of post-credit. This was more of like to get shock value. It wasn't really a big shock value, though. I mean, we know Fantastic Four is coming, and although I know, and pretty much everyone who's talked about this movie knows that they're going to lose to Galactus and jump over to the MCU, it's the only thing that's possible. I'm still surprised that they kind of gave away the ending of Fantastic Four in this movie. I really like the cohesion, but I don't remember Marvel ever doing this, spoiling the end of a movie leading into another movie. So I'm kind of curious what people think of this, but stick around for this. There's a mid-credit scene, which is pretty funny. I don't want to... Well, I guess I'll give it away because it's a spoiler review. It's David Harbour, trying to convince someone to buy a Wheaties box and trying to, show her that he's in the box. So that was pretty funny. But stay all the way till the end. I think it's worth it. I think this post-credit scene was definitely shot on the set of Doomsday. You can kind of tell. It looks different. The vibe is different. The camera's different. So we'll see. I think this was I think really though this is one of the best timed MCU movies. It's really exactly what they needed. It's not controversial at all. It'll really stabilize them before Fantastic Four, and then I think it'll just give people more confidence heading to Fantastic Four. And if Fantastic Four is good, then we're really cooking, because then I think it'll have a big springboard effect into Doomsday. They really needed these movies to kind of level out the bad PR and kind of restabilize heading into Doomsday. And I think they did that. I still wish we had a little bit more cohesion. I think there should have been more projects heading into Doomsday, like a Shang-Chi 2 and some more interconnectivity. But I still think this was a big movie. Having all these characters in Doomsday without this project would have made no sense. They all needed more seasoning, so it was good to get them. So yeah, that's my spoiler review of the movie. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.